Okay, you guys, what is up? The King of Lightning is here today. I'm gonna cry. Fuck, man. Oh my god. The King of Lightning is here today, mainly because the ending. Because you guys already know the ending had good things going for it. It really did. But the problem was one obvious issue. $722. One Piece chapter 722. Before I get to the end, let me go to the beginning. And the beginning starts off strong. Cavendish. I'm like, brother. Like, first of all, because Rebecca. And by the way, just letting you guys know that the site that normally has the good translations, the one that I primarily use, that they don't have their chapter up because they had an issue this morning. But the other good quality site that I use, they had their ship up. They had their chapter up for One Piece 722. So I was like, okay, fine. So I'll use them because normally I go on this site for Toriko, but they had One Piece 2. They normally do One Piece 2. So I went there and they actually put it up like 20 minutes ago. So I was like, all right, fine. Let me just hop on that real quick. So that being said, all right. Cavendish comes out. Charisma overflowing. He's on this horse and the horse has a speaker. So I mean that was funny, but it was still charismatic. And we had all these people. They're badgering Rebecca. They're like, you die, you. Oh! And again, so on and so forth. Because they hate her because she has the blood of the former royalty of the Kingdom of Dressrosa, which was the Riku family. And Cavendish comes out there and he's saying, listen, and even to the girls who adore him because he has that. And the thing about that is that may be hockey, because remember how we had Boa Hancock, and Boa Hancock, like her countrymen loved her. They absolutely loved her. And country woman, they loved her, and like every time she'd point at them, they would just like do whatever she wanted to do. And of course, we found out that she had the king's disposition haki. Now Cavendish made the same thing because women are literally, like when he first was introduced into the story, women were fainting because of his quote unquote beauty, but that may be a form of his intimidation because it's different for certain people. It is different. But that being said, it's not confirmed yet, so we don't know. Either way, the thing here is this. Simply put, he says this. This young girl right here is in the ring, willing to risk her life for a particular reason. We don't know, because he doesn't know exactly what that reason is. However, don't sit there and badger her. She's here fighting for her life, and she may lose her life. So if you have qualms with her, why don't you come down, bring your weapons and face her? Until that point in time, shut the fuck up. That's what he was getting at right there. And it was real good. It was like, in the crowd literally shut up for like a minute. Then he jumped out the horse got out of the ring with the microphone. And then the girls started cheering, like, yeah, like, we love you. Like, we forgot about Rebecca. Like, good job, yeah. And then he's like, oh, wow. Like, okay. So, Cavendish is a funny cat. He's a real funny character. He really is. Because now he's getting the popularity that he so much desired. Because he didn't have that. Because, who came in? The worst generation with Captain Kidd, Law, Drake, where the hell he is. And of course, Monkey D, Luther. So right there. So that's the first part. That's the beginning. Okay. Now from then on, we go over and we see like a little scene of basically we have the toy soldier and he's telling the dwarves the plan. Now the thing here is that and the main point about that is basically my personal opinion, because like he hasn't told what he's saying is repeats of stuff we already know, and it's motivation. And we haven't heard their full plan in detail yet. But here's the thing: Usopp's there. He's like, okay, so I'm gonna listen in on this plan, and then I'm gonna try and find an opportunity to escape. And what's throwing me off is that what's up with Usopp's character now? Throughout the entire course of One Piece, he's probably been the most developed and progressed character. And now it's like he's all over the place. When he first comes in the series, he's stopping underwater rock avalanches with freaking like that seaweed thing. Real confident. He comes out the gate against the fishermen, real confident. In the new world, all of a sudden, Shizuka henchmen. Oh well, I won't fight you guys because you know. I like fighting you guys when your backs are turned against me. What's going on? Like ever since they hopped into the new world, all of a sudden he's like reverted back into old Usopp. And it's throwing me off because it's like, can we continue the progression of Usopp's character, his stride towards bravery, to be considered highly amongst even the warriors of Elbaf? But like, what's going on with this guy right now? It's blowing my mind right now, and I don't mean in a good way, because it's not pleasurable. It's pissing me off. Seriously. So like, I just don't know. Like, I was digging the progress of his character. Like, he was really turning into this brave warrior of the sea. And granted, at some point in time, he had to put on the freaking Soge King mask just to get his balls down. But whatever, at least he got it. But now it's like, focus. Okay, so that's the second thing. The third thing is that we see basically Zoro. He's going to go to the ship, and he's being led by that one dwarf, Wicca. And basically, the thing about that is that he meets up with Sanji and Kinemon. And I mean, we found out that because the way it was structured in the in the bad quality translation, it seemed as if like the dwarf was asking Zoro how old you were, and Zoro responds 27. Now that, according to the bad quality translation, threw me for a fucking loop. I was like, wait a second, I thought it was 21. Whoa, pause. 27. How much time has passed? Seriously. But no, in the better translation quality, it was like, yeah, no, like it was Zoro asking the dwarf. He even says, how old are you, Wicca? And Wicca says, I'm 27. Because Wicca explains to him how he knows, he basically knows, like, before they meet up with Sanji and Kinemon, he says, okay, so like I know what the three strongest guys are of the Kyoto, because he mentions how Jorah, she's right there, she's messing with their crew, and she has this power where she can negate one's ability using her own artistic ability, so she's very hacks. And the thing about it is that he says, how you know that? Well, I know because apparently the dwarves, they know the names and abilities of all the people who are higher than the officer level. And especially like the three guys, Diamante, Tribal, and Pika. Like the three strongest guys that Kyoto has underneath him. So, okay, and apparently they annihilated the entire Dressrosa by themselves. 10 years ago, they annihilated the entire Dressrosa armada, whatever you want to call it. So, by themselves, they wiped out an entire country's army. Now, I'm just going to give you a reminder here that, remember, in Alabasta, there was an army. Remember the rebels? The rebels, they were 700,000 strong. And the guards of Alabasta, they were 300,000 strong. Their army was 300,000. Okay? If you include the rebels, that's an army that's a total combat unit of 1 million. Dressrosa, if we can assume that their country is as big as, let's say, Alabasta, we can assume that they have a fairly large-sized army. At least back in the day, they probably did, because their country, they were at the point in time when we get back to the history 800 years ago, the Kyoto clan was in the same league as Vivi's family, the Nefertiti family. I think that's what they're called. So they may have a large-scale army, at least comparable to that army. And 3 guys beat that many people, like easy, casually. So that's the way it is. Now, again, Zoro, Sanji, Kinemon, they all meet up, and basically, some of them are either Sanji or Zoro. They're gonna wind up going and they're gonna go to Greenbit now. because in comes Violet, like hoodie and shit. She's like Black, and Black is like Violet Swan, and Daisy says yeah, Jorah ship Green Bit go. So right there, okay. So intriguing, but they're meeting up right now, so that's good. They're meeting up, and we're getting somewhere. And that's one thing about One Piece that you can't knock. It's that there is story progression every fucking chapter, massive amounts. Now that being said, next part. This you can either hate it or you can love it. You can hate it in the sense that Brook took out Jorah, someone who was like a Quixote family member, who are regarded to be highly powerful, took her out in one freaking move. Or you can like it because you were not intrigued about this part of the story whatsoever. So it's either or. Now Brook doing this thing where he was actually able to trick her, and then so his weapons return, and then as we have Nami, Momosuke, and Chopper, they're about to die because of this dying art that she hasn't been cased in. She just, he has his cane sword back, cuts her, doesn't even notice the cuts, and then she just gets knocked out. Or she's dead. Well, knocked out because it's One Piece, unfortunately. I would have loved to see Brook, ding, head off. That would have been amazing. I would have jumped for joy. That would have been the chapter a billion times better right then and there. But no, obviously it's One Piece, and Oda does not like to draw gore, which is very unfortunate. So that's just the way it is. But what I will say is that again, it does throw me off because she's Quixote Family League member. And mainly because she has a hack's power. But I would expect more. But at the same time, I can't complain because this part of the story is not that intriguing at all to me. So it's either or. I'm kind of in the middle, to be honest. Either you like it because this part of the story was not intriguing to you whatsoever, or you hate it because it's like, really? A Quixote family member? One shot? Really? Okay, but either one. So, but basically, like, they're good to go. And at some point, she's able actually to change. I noticed that Jorah was actually able to change the structure of the water underneath the ship and make it like artistic. And I'm like, so she can even manipulate the water itself? What the hell's up? So she has a hack's power. Just that physically she's not that good, apparently. And we get to the last part of the chapter. Whoa. Quixote mentions the whole other thing about, because we know 800 years ago was a big point in history, because that was when they established the Tenryubito. That was when the Shandians, the people who are related to the Skypians, it was the Bilkins, the Skypians, and the Shandians. Their country actually lost, and they were sent to ruin, and they were in hiding in Jara. I think it's called, Jara. Like the place where they first meet Blackbeard. And the thing about it is that, that's a very cornerstone part in history. Apparently, according to what Flamingo says, he says that the creators who were in this country before the Riku family, because he explains how since the nobility left and they went to the Holy Land, they needed new nobility. And so the former nobility would appoint new nobility. And in this case, the Quixote clan, the Don Quixote clan, they appointed the Riku family to be the next nobility. But that's the way it is. The Quixotes were here first. They were the first nobility. They were the creators, and they were the royals of this country. And the way he's making it seem as if he's taking his country back. Because technically, it's their country that they gave to the Riku family. They were here first. It was their kingdom first. So that's what he's making it seem. Now, here's the main point of that part. So that's massively important. That's massively important. Because now we know confirmed fact. The Quixotes, the Don Quixote clan, is in fact, they are Tenryubito now. They are. At least they're, they're descendants. He may be the last one. I don't know. No idea. Either way. Fact is that he is Celestial Dragon. He is. This is the way it is. Now, the main point about this last part. So that was obviously a very good thing. That was a massively good thing. However, there is a bad thing. And what is that bad thing? Obviously, laws on the ground Law's on the ground. Flamingo is throwing around Caesar Clown's heart. Fujitora is like sitting there looking all badass. You look at the surrounding area. All these trees are cut up and blown apart. There's meteors like laying about the entire island. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh, come on. So, apparently, no! Apparently, he skipped the fight. Apparently, Ichiro Oda skipped one of the best set fights I've seen since the start of the time skip thus far. Yes, this is one of the best setup fights I've seen. It came out off the gate awesome. You were like, Meteor, Flamingo, yeah, Law, and you were like, yeah, yeah, and you were stoked. You were like, yeah. And then it's like, okay, Skip. Come on, Oda. I mean, it's like the chapter had so many good things going for it. It really did. Cavendish, Flamingo talking about danger years ago, and Vivi's family actually declining the offer to go live in the Marijos, and then they decide to stay in Alabasta and remain their royal status in that country. And the whole thing about the top three guys, and then Zoro and Sanji meeting up, and then Brook taking out Zora, therefore massive story progression. So there's a buttload of story progression. But what the fuck, man? Like seriously, bro? Like, that's a huge negative, man. He sets it up, and you're like, oh my god, this is amazing. And he skips the fucking fight. It's like... It's like... Okay, so, I mean, I'll just leave it at that because it's infuriating. I don't even want to give it a chapter rating. I'll be honest about that. I don't because I don't know how much I would take off because of the fact that the fight was skipped. Okay, now and also I'm not giving it a rating because Oda may in fact backtrack. He may backtrack and he may say, you know what? I am going to now show you what happened in full in that fight. I'm going to show you everything. But I don't see it happen. I said it was going to happen because that's what happened with Sanji and Violet. And Oda's done that before. It's just that in this case, I don't see it happening. And it's that pissed me off the high. I cannot deny that. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see. But right now, the chapter had a lot of good things. Right, it had a lot of good things. Just one really bad fucking thing, and I'll just leave it at that. I mean, now we still don't know what Fujitora's powers are, and then now I have to question, but why is it solely meteors? And then, but he's like, we don't know now because Oda didn't show us about the fight. So there was no opportunity for Fujitora to explain his powers. Now, granted, they're still on the island of Grima and Dressrosa, so things may still occur between Fujitora and Flamingo. They may still engage in combat once more. But the fact that Law was able to fight these two guys at the same time, and those two guys be relatively okay. Now, granted, Law is not, that powerful in comparison to Fujitora, I suppose. But Flamingo, you would think that he'd do decent, I guess. But no, not even. It was like a one-sided... Fuck it. I'm done. I'll see y'all later. Peace. Have a nice day.